My bonsai. Today I tell you the story of the densest vineyard in the world with 62,500 plants per hectare. When I began to plant in 2000, I planted like everybody else 5,000 fruits per hectare. Where olive trees were, I left them because I believe in the biodiversity. What came out is a very easy to work vineyard. The tractor was going very easily through the runs. People liked to work into these vineyards. And the plants were growing wonderfully, and even grapes were fantastic.
Qui per esempio abbiamo un grado di maturazione molto avanzato, ma non ancora sufficiente.
One day I met Maurizio Anselmi, and we became friends. He has a helicopter, and we began to fly together. We began to fly over all the vineyards in Tuscany. And I was wondering, all of these vineyards planted with this 5,500 roots per hectare, I was wondering, if I increase competition between plants, if I increase density, am I not going to get a better wine? Now we are reaching my house and my vineyards. The upper vineyard is 5,000, and this one was a first trial where I reduced the distance between the rows to 2 meters from 2.5, and I got 6,666 plants per hectare. It was easy to work, the tractor was going through, but later I wanted to try it even denser, and we did this one. 11,111 plants per hectare. 5 roots at 1 meter and 1 at 2 meters, so that the tractor can go through. But the ultimate test is the bonsai. You can see it here with the squares, 4 meters by 4 meters, with 121 plants per square. This gives a density of 62,500 plants per hectare, the densest vineyard in the world. Here we are in spring. The plants are beginning to grow. And the time, the weather, the summer brings us to maturation, slowly but certainly. Finally, our analysis tells us that we can harvest this vineyard. We have to go with a bucket, with a metal bucket, because if we would like to use these plastic boxes, we would break everything. And we have to pay a lot of attention. We have to move very slowly, not to break the plants, not to break the branches. But the grapes are really wonderful. Something like 1 or 2 grapes per plant. And people like to harvest the bonsai, you can see that. Here we are at the destemming. Someone had the strange idea to destem by hand. At the beginning I thought it was crazy, but then I said, why don't we try? And it takes a lot of time, but there is absolute perfection. Every single berry is perfectly healthy and not crushed. Not a single piece of stalk, no immature berry, no over-mature berry, only perfection. Here we prepare the tonneau that is going to receive our perfect bonsai grapes, our perfect bonsai berries, and in which the wine will ferment for a certain period. As you see, we ferment only in wood because we believe that wood adds tannins makes the wine much smoother. Watch the perfection of these berries. They are simply perfect. They look like blackberries, but blackberries make no wine. It's really a joy to do this job. Well, here you can see the stem by machine. There are pieces of stem that you have to take away because they make the wine greener. They give some tannins that are greener. And here's the difference with the stem by hand. Only perfection. A few days later, fermentation begins spontaneously and forms what we call the hat. A compact mass of skins that come to surface during fermentation. But these skins must be kept wet, and so we have to push them down with a system that we call follatura. Now our wine has finished his fermentation and is ready to be svinato, how we call it in Italian. We take those buckets of wine and skins and we separate it very simply with this filter. The wine will go directly in the barrique and the skins will go to the wine press. We use a very, very simple wine press, hydraulic. This cage is going to contain the skins. The skins will be separated by this, which is called fiscolo. You see them in the olive presses. And then it will go under this hydraulic head, which will cut down very, very slowly and will extract the wine from the skins. We press very, very, very little because it's only the flour that is really, really good. If you press longer, you risk to extract tannins and other stuffs that you prefer not to have in the wine. But the first part is important because the first part, what we call the flour, is dense, structured, and extremely flavored. Alone it wouldn't work, but mixed with the wine, it's marvelous. Now, the barrique of our Bonsai is finished and will stay here for about 3 years. Here I taste the Bonsai 2007, the first one. Every time I taste it, I am really impressed by this wine. This is why I decided to increase the experiment in full scale and asked my friend Maurizio, here is Maurizio, to help me. First thing he gave me was this little toy. 20 cubic meters of capacity that we used during last summer to drill the hole that we needed to drill to build our new cellar. We had to drill up to 10 meters, which is some 33 feet. And this gave us the opportunity to go through a bunch of different layers of geology: lime, clay, sand, silicon. Everything was inside, and we brought all that down to the place where I am going to make the new Bonsai. Then we began to move the earth very, very deeply. You have to think that this was going down 1.5 meters. I think now it's about 5-6 feet deep in order to loosen the earth so that the roots can go easily down. The first thing we have to move is the vegetary part. We call vegetary part the upper 20 centimeters, let's say, what is it, about 10 inches, in which the aerobic life of the earth is contained. If you go lower, after 20-25 centimeters, you begin to find an anaerobic life. It's completely different, and it's very, very important that the aerobic part of the soil stays aerobic and the anaerobic part stays anaerobic. Even if getting some oxygen through all this movement that we are doing is going to help a lot. Here you can see the full scale of the new bonsai. It's about 1 hectare. And now the earth is ready to be planted. We begin with the Duilio wetting with water the soil, because it has to be, first of all, full of water to help the plants to start, but it has also to be loosened. And the very idea of the bonsai is that keeping the plants very, very narrow one to another, we are talking about 40 centimeters, it's a foot, 0.2, from plant to plant. The plants are going to go very, very, very deep with their roots, and are going to go also very fast deep with their roots. And this has been demonstrated by the first 1,000 meters that I've been showing you before. That was the first experiment. The very idea behind that is that if the roots go very deep, they will go through many different geological layers. And going through different geological layers, they will absorb different minerals that will add to the complexity of the wines. Look at the beauty of these plants and imagine how good the wine must be. Taste it.